Here comes Ben Schulman. He crosses the finish line in a time of 30.21. Congratulations, Ben. You are in first place for the boys right now. Matthew Chu from Snow Valley is currently on course.
You lost the ski.
Here we have Matthew Chu from Snow Valley coming down the last portion of the course. Matthew Chu crosses the finish line with a time of 1 minute 8 seconds. And we have Matthew Emery on course now. Back-to-back mats. Here comes Matthew Emery from Heights of Horseshoe. Matthew Emery crosses the finish line with a time of 45.89. Luca Rabito from Glacier is coming down, and Thomas Craig from Snow Valley has just dropped into the course. Here comes Luca Rabito dropping down into his tuck and flying across the finish line with a smoking fast time of 37.10. Here comes Thomas Craig. Thomas Craig coming across the finish line here. I can hear some cowbell going. Drops in with a time of 42.30. George Alexander comes across the finish line with a time of 29.44. Holy lift and dyno, the first racer to break 30 seconds. Declan McCaffrey from Heights of Horseshoe is on course right now. Here comes Declan McCaffrey crossing the finish line with a time of 34.13. Sasha Crampton from Horseshoe is on course. Sasha Crampton crosses the finish line with a time of 41.07. Braden Laraway from Heights of Horseshoe is on course now. Followed closely by Callum Hankai of Glacier. Here comes Braden Laraway across the finish line in a time of 32.86. Here is Callum Hankai from the Glacier Ski Club coming down the last little portion. dropping down into his tuck. Comes across the finish line in a time of 29.85.
Oops. Get up.
Here comes Oliver Booth from Glacier Ski Club. Throwing his hand across the finish line with a time of 39.48. On course is Andrew Dussault from the Muskoka Ski Club.
Oops.
Andrew Dussault is skied up the course. Racer 74, Braden Mock, please head up for a rerun. Okay, we have Braden Mock on course. Braden Mock crosses the finish line with a time of 31.52. Beckett Mars is on course now from the Glacier Ski Club. Here comes Beckett Mars. Action. Sam Aiken is in the course now from the Glacier Ski Club, followed closely behind by Daniel Cody of the Snow Valley Ski Club. Here comes Sam Aiken, looking great coming down the last section of the course. Hanging on to this, making short work of the stubby section, drops down into his tuck, and flies across the finish line with a time of 31-42. Sam Cody from Snow Valley is on course now. Here comes Sam Cody from Snow Valley coming across the finish line in his high cut with a time of 38 even. On course is Steven Vasquez Mays, again from Snow Valley. Here comes Steven Vasquez Mays into the study section of the course. Dropping down into his tuck, ripping apart the gates, and crosses the finish line with a time of 32.87. On course now is Justin Caswell. And Justin Caswell is a DNF. Lucas Blair from Heights of Horseshoe is now on course. Here comes Lucas Blair flying through the course. Lucas Blair with quick feet coming through that stubby section. Drops down into his tuck, and he's going to have a smoking fast time. Lucas Blair across the finish line with a time of 29.45. Tor Serby is on course from the Muskoka Ski Club. Here comes Tor through the last little section of the course. Drops down into his tuck and flies across the finish line with a time of 31.69. Declan Brown is on course now from the Heights of Horseshoe. Here comes Declan Brown from the Heights of Horseshoe, crossing the finish line with a time of 42.85. Keegan Turner from Glacier is now on course, coming down the last little section. Here comes Keegan Turner, dropping into his tuck, screams across the finish line with a time of 32.95. Liam McKay is on course from the Heights of Horseshoe. Liam McKay crosses the finish line in a time of 32.73. Here comes Nolan Klubel from Heights of Horseshoe. Nolan Klubel crosses the finish line with a time of 35.38. Nyla Clements of Horseshoe Valley is now on course. Niles, sorry. I don't know where I'm getting all these extra vowels from. Niles Clement comes down and is crossing the finish line with a time of 35.39. Dan Pastakia of Muskoka Ski Club is finishing up the course here. Dan Pastakia crosses the finish line with a time of 36:51. Nolan McCreelis of Brimacombe is now on course, coming down into neon shin pad, dropping down into his spot. Flies across the finish line with a time of 33:49. Here comes G-Man Grant Leishman coming down the last little portion of the course, taking the wide line in the stubby section. Here he comes, gets back in, dropping down into the tuck. Pulls across the finish line in a time of 33:69. Arnold Soulard is on course from the Glacier Ski Club. Here comes Arnold. Pulling across the finish line with a time of 32:04. Liam Graham from Snow Valley is now on course. Liam Graham is finishing up his first run with a time of 35:01, and on course now is Thomas Emmis from the Muskoka Ski Club. Here comes Tom in the last portion of the pitch. Tom Ellis crosses the finish line with a time of 41:95, and on course now is Charlie Guilfoyle from Heights of Horseshoe. We should have the girls should start getting up to the top of the hill. We'll have the girls up at the top of the hill. We're running reverse order, and once we get some girls up to the top of the hill, we will start the girls section. Charlie Guilfoyle crosses the finish line with a time of 32:45, and on course is Jack Mitchell from Glacier Ski Club. Here comes Jack Mitchell from Glacier Ski Club. Crosses the finish line in a time of 33:06. And we have Parker Wanatanabe from Heights of Horseshoe. Sorry, 31:06 for Jack Mitchell. Parker Watanabe from Heights of Horseshoe, 37:30. Nathan Shin from the Snow Valley Ski Club is now on course. Here comes Nathan Shin from Snow Valley, crossing the finish line in a time of 41-77. Here comes Atticus Hodges from the Brimacombe Ski Club, pulling across the finish line in a time of 30.24 for Atticus Hodges. Sam Budlovsky of the Horseshoe Ski Club is now coming across the finish line. With the reverse pole technique, he crosses the finish line in a time of 34.72. Again, females up to the top of the course. Preferably the higher numbers, definitely up there because you don't want to miss your run. Here comes Spencer Lee from the Glacier Ski Club. Spencer Lee crosses the finish line with a time of 35.48. Bergor from the Glacier Ski Club is on course right now. Here he comes across the finish line with a time of 41.42. Robbie Muranaka from Horseshoe is on course right now. Here comes Robbie. Down the last little bit. Robbie crosses the finish line with a time of 36.77. And on course we have Andrew Maduri. Here comes Andrew down the final pitch. Last night at our team party, Andrew bowled a perfect 300. It was an amazing feat to watch. Here he comes across the finish line with a time of 35.53. 35.53 for Andrew Maduri. Logan from the Horseshoe Ski Club is on course right now. Here comes Logan Oshesky from the Horseshoe Ski Club. Logan drops down and crosses the finish line in a time of 42.55. And on course we have Sam McKinley.
Merge. Cada um não, o senhor acha? Yeah.
Here's Sam McKinley, 21. And Kieran Boyle from Snow Valley is now on course.
Also ist faktisch nicht der. Das kostet sich später das beste Ding. Können Sie jetzt mal nachsehen.
Ja, ja.
Here we go. Kieran crosses the finish line with a time of 35.34. And Elias Kolshiel from Horseshoe is on course. Elias crosses the finish line in a time of 34.58. On course. Logan Caswell crosses the finish line in a time of 32:44, 32:44. And currently sitting in first place, Nolan Caswell, congratulations. On course, we have Declan Inslee from Heights of Horseshoe. Here comes Declan on the last section of the course. Declan flies across the finish line in a time of 32:06. 32:06 for Declan. Elias Koschel from Horseshoe crosses the finish line in a time of 48:02. And on course we have Kieran Moyle from Snow Valley. Kieran crosses the finish line in a time of 34:06. 34:06. Sam McKinley from Horseshoe is on course now. Sam McKinley from Horseshoe crosses the finish line in a time of 39:69. 39:69 for Mr. Sam McKinley. And on course we have Logan from Horseshoe. Here comes Logan Ashevsky from Horseshoe. Logan pulling across the finish line and finishes with a time of 41:66. 41:66. And on course now we have Andrew Maduri from the Muskoka Ski Club. Andrew Maduri crosses the finish line in a time of 35:18. 35:18 for Andrew Maduri. Robbie Murdoch across the finish line in a time of 35:54. 35:54. And on course we have Alexa Burzor from Glacier Ski Club. Coming across the finish line in a time of 42:06. 42:06 for Alexa. Jacob Erickson is on course now. Spencer Lee crosses the finish line in a time of 35.64. 35.64 for Spencer Lee. From Horseshoe is now on course. Crosses the finish line in a time of 35.32. Atticus Hodges is now on course from Brimacombe Ski Club. Big cheering section for Atticus Hodges as he pulls across the finish line in a smoking fast time of 31.34. 31.34 for Atticus Hodges. Nathan Shin, Snow Valley, is on course. Nathan Shin crosses the finish line in a time of 41.38. Parker Watanabe is on course now from Heights of Horseshoe. Parker crosses the finish line in a time of 35.42. 35.42 for Parker. Jack Mitchell is now on course from the Glacier Ski Club. Here comes Jack down the last section of the course. Jack Mitchell crosses the finish line in time of 31.56. 31.56 for Jack Mitchell. Charlie Guilfoyle is now on course. Charlie Guilfoyle skates across the finish line with a swooping hand drag with a time of 32.80. 32.80 for Charlie Guilfoyle. Tom Evans is now on course. Tom Evans crosses the finish line in time of 32.59. Liam Graham crosses the finish line in a time of 36.29. 36.29. And on course we have Arnaud Solar from Glacier. Arnaud crosses the finish line in a time of 32.81. 32.81. And on course we have Grant Leishman from the Muskoka Ski Club. We'd like to thank Grant's dad, Graham, for sponsoring all of our team jackets for next year. That was a very, very generous thing to do, Graham. And a warm thank you to all of us. Grant Leishman crosses the finish line in time of 30.39. 30.39 for Grant Leishman. Nolan McCreeless from Brimacombe is on course. Nolan McDougallish crosses the finish line with a time of 33:55, 33:55. And here we have Daniel Pastakia of Muskoka U12. Daniel across the finish line in time of 39:29, 39:29. Niles Clement from Horseshoe is on course now. Here comes Niles Clement from Horseshoe coming across the finish line in a time of 36:12, 36:12. Nolan Klubel from Heights is on course now. Nolan Klubel across the finish line in time of 37:27, 37:27 for Nolan. And on course we have Liam McKay from the Heights of Horseshoe. Racer 85, Liam McKay, finishing up the course. Punches across the finish line, looking back for his time, wiping his goggles, and crosses it with a time of 33:24, 33:24. Keegan Turner from Glacier is now finishing up. 83, Keegan Turner. Keegan crosses the finish line in a time of 34:59, 34:59. Declan Brown from the Heights of Horseshoe is now on course. Here comes Declan Brown, skating across the finish line and finishing up with a time of 43:33, 43:33. Tor Serby is now finishing up. Here comes Tor Serby, dropping down into his tuck, punching across the finish line in a smoking fast time of 33:02, 33:02. Lucas Blair from Heights of Horseshoe on course. Lucas crosses the finish line in a time of 30:51, 30:51. Justin Caswell is now on course. Justin Caswell crossed the finish line in a time of 30.02, 30.02. Vasquez Mays crossed the finish line in a time of 34:92, 34:92. Samuel Cody's on course from Snow Valley. Sam Cody crossed the finish line in time of 38.60. 38.60. Here comes Sam Aiken. Sam flies across the finish line in a time of 32.61. 32.61. Beckett Mars is now on course.
Ups. Iar căzut Beckett. Bravo, tati. Haide, Beckett, hai.
Beckett Mars crosses the finish line in a time of 38.23. 38.20.
Hai că mai am câțiva și gata.
Braden crosses the finish line in a time of 33.74. 33.74.
Ups. A pierdut un schiu săracul de el.
Andrew Dussault is finishing up the course. Outside.
Yeah.
Oliver Booth is now on course from the Glacier Ski Club. Oliver Booth. Oliver Booth flies across the finish line in a time of 32.12. 32.12. Here comes Callum Hancock. Finishing up the course with a time of 30.78, 30.78. Sasha Crampton from Horseshoe is now on course. Sasha Crampton crosses the finish line on time of 44:02. 44:02. Declan McCaffrey from Heights of Horseshoe is on course now. Sasha Crampton crosses the finish line in a time of, Declan McCaffrey crosses the finish line in a time of 47:74, 47:74. And on course we have George Alexander Ng of Snow Valley. George Alexander Ng crosses the finish line in a time of 30.21, 30.21. Thomas Craig of Snow Valley is now on course. Thomas Craig with a massive cheering section crosses the finish line in a time of 44:35, 44:35. Luca Rubito of Glacier is now on course. Luca Rubito crosses the finish line in a time of 38.92, 38.92. Matthew Emery crosses the finish line in a time of 45.55, 45.55. And Matthew Chu of Snow Valley is the second last racer of the day. Matthew Chu crosses the finish line in a time of 36.62, 36.62. And Ben Schulman of Glacier is the last racer of the day. Here comes Ben Schulman. He's been waiting at the top of the hill for the last 4 hours to finish. And here he goes, swiping his hand across. 10th place from Muskoka Ski Club, Port Serby. In 9th place from Muskoka Ski Club, Grant Leishman. In 8th place from Glacier, Sam Aiken. 7th place from the Heights, Declan Inslee. 6th place place from Glacier, Jack Mitchell. In 5th place from Bremicone, Atticus Hodges. 4th place from Glacier, Ben Schulman. 3rd place from Glacier, Callum Hankai. In 2nd place from the Heights, Lucas. And in 1st place from Snow Valley, George Alexander Ing.
And Charlie.